Hey, I'm Shay.
I'm John.
And I'm Nick.
Welcome to It's a Work Thing podcast, where we talk about everything and nothing, and we call it work.
And I always knew that Nick would get arrested. I just didn't think that I would be there too.
All right.
Yeah.
And welcome to It's a Work Thing, the podcast you can tell your boss you're listening to because technically it's a work thing. Now, to get into this little story, this little ditty that you...
Yeah, so a couple days ago, Nick and I were arrested about 18 times each.
I
Close?
was arrested more because I was there for the morning.
Yeah, that's true. I actually fled one of them, and he did not. So, yeah. But yeah, we got arrested a lot of times in one afternoon.
This is one of the perks of being my friends is
being arrested.
yeah. No. One of the perks is I'm friends with a lot of the first responders and PD and stuff here in town. So they need a volunteer to be arrested several times for their training, and they asked me if I could do it late notice. And then they asked if I had a few buddies, and I was like, yes, I do.
Unfortunately, I had to teach kids, so...
They asked in a very condescending tone if he had any friends. They're like, do you have
friends?
Friends?
I'm like, yeah, imaginary. So then I called Shay, and I was like, hey, are you still on Easter break? He's no, I'm not on Easter break, you fool. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know? I don't have kids.
Yeah, it'd actually be weird if he did know it.
Yeah. But anyways, Shay did not. So then I called Griff, who immediately sent me to voicemail.
Yeah, I was in the middle of giving a presentation about trade and tariffs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like in the middle.
To be fair, he texted me like right after that. He's like, I'm in a meeting, what's up? And I was like, you want to get arrested? And he's like, sign me up. So, yeah. So then we went and... trying to make sure my mic was good. So then we went.
Yeah, you're good, buddy.
And, I started it off going through, and I was basically getting arrested and stuff like that. And the good thing is, they said...
Okay, so let's just start us off of... why do they do this? Like, why? What kind of training are you talking about?
So they were practicing basically their like felony stops, and then like basically their if they think that someone has a weapon or is dangerous, they basically are trying to get in position. So they're practicing this like the gun training position of getting back behind the car, shielding it, and then making entry to the car.
So they're going through actual like training.
Yes,
then.
they're actually doing.
Is this like new?
Training. No, this is the whole entire.
Okay,
PD.
so it's everybody's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
like almost
it's a new
refresher?
class that their sergeant just learned.
Okay.
So and then he was teaching to the rest of them. So it was a live like it was a real. I mean, we even had the chief there.
Okay.
Like the detective. Like it was a real training.
It was legit then.
Yeah, it was legit. So I got there first, and we had to basically go through. We had to sign waivers and stuff because they were gonna like arrest us and partially like maybe throw us down. So we had to go through, sign all that, and then
I'm a big boy.
yeah.
Ben could. Ben could.
Yeah, Ben definitely could.
But like we were doing the stops and stuff, and it was good because like I wasn't nervous at all, so I was like messing with them more. So like the very first time they said like who's in the car, I was like, I don't know, it's not my car. But then it really got fun when Griff got there because then we got to play like more scenarios. And
So how long were you by yourself before Griff showed up?
probably an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. So you've been there for a bit.
Yeah, getting arrested, and then we went to eat at Reno's. and then Griff got there, and this is the part I was telling you in the car. Griff was early, which I was extremely happy with and impressed because we were about to leave without him and just have him meet us out there.
Okay.
So Griff got to ride in a cop car with us out there.
Nice.
I had to be in the
did.
back seat, and I kept wanting to open the door, realized I couldn't.
He did.
All right. So now that we got the background of what you were doing, you guys want to go into detail about your most fun experiences that you got to do. How?
They're all going to come so random to me because it was so much. But
Well,
like,
I got to put Nick in the trunk of a car. That was fun. And then the scenario was he was supposed to be my kidnapped child.
Oh.
And so then Nick, like as soon as I get into the car, Nick is already in this trunk and he texts me and he goes, "It's hot in here." So then as soon as I knew that, they were like, "All right, exit the vehicle." And they're like, "All right, walk backwards towards me." And I go like one step at a time, and they go, "Keep moving." And I take one step, and they go, "Keep moving." And I take one step, and I was going the slowest I went the entire day.
And I was-
because I knew that he was sitting in that trunk.
dude, it was hot. I was sitting there texting. I was like, you know your rights. Don't let them search the car.
And then they get to the back, and they're like trying to be like, "Hey, is there anyone else in that vehicle? It's for their safety. Anyone else in that vehicle?" And I was like, "Nope." And I just sat there, stared straight ahead. I was like, "I'm not saying anything." And I think it was whoever was running the training. He was like, Yeah, I think if I kidnapped my kid, I probably wouldn't be saying much either.
We
And
What-
how long were you in that trunk?
probably like 6 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
not that long.
No, it wasn't that bad. And 6 minutes probably was not. It was probably shorter than that, but it felt like forever. But there was also like at one point we had weapons too. We were hiding, so I had brass knuckles in my socks, and I got away with it.
He got away with it. They missed it.
Yeah, they missed it on the search. So then the
And
second round,
we're in this t-shirt,
like,
shorts,
yeah,
hat.
I'm literally in. Yeah, like,
this is what
it.
I wore.
I was in t-shirts and a short
Yeah.
shirt. But then I had a gun in my waistband, so I had a gun, and I got away with that too
got away
during the
with a
search.
gun!
They're like at the end of the drill, like we would go and like we recapped and we went to the next one, and they're like, okay, they're like, Nick, do you have anything on you? And I pull out a gun, and Ben goes, well, we're all dead. So I learned I'm a master thief. But then one of my
He literally goes, I would search him, but he's kind of squished up with his legs underneath him there.
Yeah, I was trying to hide the gun because I'm like, I don't want you to touch my belly button and find a gat. But then one of my favorite parts of the whole thing was Griff had the gun and Griff had to hide it in his waistband. So this was like one of the last ones we did. But like Griff's out and Griff has to stand out of the car and because they're giving you like verbal commands.
Yeah.
And Griff has to lift up his shirt and do a 360 to like see if there's any weapons.
Oh,
on
yeah,
it.
I got you now.
They see the gun. They don't really call out the gun much. 'Cause
Not
I
at
don't-
all.
Yeah.
The purpose of this one was like they threw like 8 officers in at a time. So they
Yeah.
were like trying to like overload essentially the situation.
Oh.
So
So they were trying to make it so that like nobody figured out who was the lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what the point was, I
yeah,
think.
so he did that, and then I was sitting in the car, and I wouldn't get out at first for a little bit. And so then they make Griff lay down, and then they get me out of the car. While Griff is laying down, face down, he has a gun on him. I'm yelling all the way in the back, "He's innocent! Let him go!" He's got a gun, and he's laying on the ground. And I just keep yelling in the back, "He's innocent!"
And one of the times they lay out the scenario for you and like what you need to do, like you need to comply or you need to do this. And one of the scenarios, they were literally like, points to me, he's like, you just killed someone. They ran your ID and you came up for a warrant for a murder. And then he hands Nick a gun, and I was like, Jesus, like we are a car here.
Yeah, and then they're like, they wanted to see if any of the officers would chase us if we ran.
Yeah.
So there's one scenario where Griff's you're the driver.
I was
right?
the driver.
Yeah, he was the driver, and I was in the passenger. And Griff just takes off. Like he basically he gets out. He acts like he's about to like comply.
Yeah.
And as soon as they're like, take some steps back, Griff just books it, and no one chased him. So he makes it free.
I so badly wanted to do the. I think I sent it. Did I send it to just Nick or did I send it to everybody that day? The Tommy Boy part from Bees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
They're bees.
yeah, bees everywhere, killer bees.
I'm allergic. Are you?
Okay, so I didn't know that day they were going to give us scenarios to do. So I wrote down scenarios that I could think of that I wanted to pull to try and.
Before you get into that,
Yeah.
I just want to say I appreciate that you literally didn't even know this was going to be a thing, and you literally made scenarios, took the time to make scenarios.
I had 1.5 hours, and I came up with almost a full page of scenarios to do.
Lord, I just showed up.
Here are some of the highlights: bees,
That's it. Bees.
the killer bees thing from Tommy Boy,
Yeah, Tommy Boy.
bribes.
Oh yeah, he
That's-
did tell me that
that's
one.
a good one.
They walk up to the window, and you just crack the window and slide $100 bill out the window. See what they say.
I would out of Washington.
No English.
No habla.
No habla English.
No English.
Did
You get out of the car like Ricky Bobby whenever he thinks he's on invisible
Oh.
fire.
What about what's those people who think that they don't have to have rights or that driving is a right?
Sovereign citizen.
Sovereign citizen.
Yeah.
You should have done that. That'd been a good one.
I do not know what that means.
Sovereign citizen?
Yeah.
So sovereign citizens are like they believe that they are born with like they don't have to have a driver's license. They don't need to have IDs. The government's not allowed to,
Like when you pull them over, they're like, I'm not driving, I'm traveling. And
Yes.
It's like, okay, you're driving a car, and they're like, I'm not. This is not a motor vehicle. This is me just traveling.
I at one point went down a dark hole of TikTok with there's a court case where the guy was just interrupting the judge. He wanted to be his own lawyer in it, and it was just nuts.
I would have let him.
No, he was his own lawyer, and it was they. But they
Wait,
were
wait, Shay. do these people pay income tax?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Is there a reason you went down this rabbit hole? Shay was seriously looking into it. He's like, no state issued IDs,
Yeah.
no income tax.
They're onto something. Sorry. Anyway, your other scenarios?
I have amnesia.
Good Lord.
I'm colorblind.
Okay.
White collar,
Why,
black collar.
why I blew that red light or whatever. I don't know. It might work. If Nick was in the car with me, I have to get him back to his big brother.
Oh, that reminds me too. When he was laying on the ground, I said he was innocent. He had the gun on his waistband. I kept yelling too. I was like, "Those aren't his. They aren't even his pants."
No, and
What
one
were
of
they
them,
doing to you as you were yelling all these things? They just ignore you or like
They ignored me. Then they put me in the squad car.
one of them, the last one we did, we were trying to
Yeah.
mess with them and be like just jerks to him in every
we were
step.
told to be assholes but comply.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah.
Okay.
So that's whenever I did, once again, the one step at a time and made him count me back, essentially. And then the other guy that was with us, he got all the way to the back, and they had him detained. And then, like, they would say, come straight back. And he goes, go right, go left,
And I was
go
in
right.
I was in the car and I kept yelling, "How much effing longer is this going to take?"
And so I would just listen to him and not them. And they're like, no. And then I got back there, and I was yelling with him. And then the guy comes behind, and he's like, why did you not put these two in the car? And the guy's like, I don't have the keys.
Well, then they were doing me, and we had them so flustered at this point that he made us because they say come back to the sound of my voice, and then they would stop talking. So I would just stop and make them keep saying come back, and every time they would stop talking, I would just stop.
Also in that last one, they would say, now turn around. And so I would turn around, like spin. Well, they would usually say, now stop and come back. And they didn't say stop.
yeah.
So they said comply. So I just kept spinning with my hands in the air and just kept rotating. And then, what was the other thing they did whenever he did that?
Everyone stop, hammer time. So the guy was
Yeah.
yelling. He was like stop, and then he'd go hammer time.
Oh, no. And then he said, now stop away from me is what he said. Away from me or not looking at me. And so I stopped, like, if you're the police officer behind me, I stopped this way, facing, like, not with my back to him, but my shoulder. And he goes, no, turn around. So I turned completely around and face back. And he's like, no, put your back to me.
And then we when we were they were escorting me back to the car. At one point, I made Griff laugh because they said, take bigger steps. And I was like, these are big steps.
He did say that. These are big steps.
and then when they had me, God dang, what was I going to say? They had me at one point in the back. They told me to go. So we had them so flustered at the end that they were supposed to have me go left.
Yeah.
And they told me to go right, which was like out way off of where they wanted to go. So I was like, okay. So I went right, and then he's like, I meant left. And I said, learn your effing directions. I was like, you just said right. It was hilarious.
How much drugs is too much drugs? Whenever you get pulled over. Wink at them an uncomfortable amount of times.
Well, we had one too where I was. We had one
you should have
too.
done that one regardless.
We had one too where Griff wasn't in the car for this one, but I was suicidal and I had a gun, and I just lost my kid. I just lost my job and
Oh, boy.
and my wife.
Okay.
And I got out of the car after they finally kept screaming at me to get out. And I finally got out, and I was supposed to hold the gun to my chin.
Yeah, and the guy was like bipolar in
Yeah.
his direction.
He's like,
it's
get out,
okay,
man."
buddy.
He's
It's
like,
okay,
"Yeah,
buddy.
Get out.
Yeah, get out of the car. I was like, ah.
So I got out and I was like this. I was like, I had it all, man. I was like, I worked from home. I was like, I had a good thing.
Just telling his life story.
Dude, that's an underrated thing. Whenever you get kicked out of your house from your marital dispute and you work from home, you just lost your home and your workplace.
I was like, it was hilarious.
Can't even go to work to get away from it.
But like, there was times where like we just like I wouldn't talk to them. They'd try to like ask us something. I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, and then when they did start searching me good and find weapons on me, I was like, that ain't mine, man. I was like, it was
Ain't me.
on me. Yeah.
I have an organ for donation in the trunk of the car. I have to go fast. Hold on. The British are coming.
He misunderstood the assignment.
Yeah, he really just.
Offer them a goat
Oh.
in a broken English.
There was also one point where we were supposed to turn up the music really loud and not listen to them. And Griff has the music up loud. He goes, "Hold on, this song's good."
It's a banger.
Yeah,
And then I turn it down and they're yelling at us. And I go, "Oh, did you not like that one?" And I turned to the next track and I was like, maybe this one's better.
it was some random CD that was in the cop car.
Were they at least good songs?
They weren't bad.
It was like Creepin'. I don't know. What the,
Yeah.
Oh, that's Eric Church.
Yeah, that one. I don't know what the other one was.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think we got that far into the second one.
Yeah, we were just blaring it.
Describe yourself in a Taken scenario, like with Liam Neeson. That's why you're speeding. That's why you got pulled over. Swear to drunk I'm not God. As your opening statement.
Good lord.
And finally,
beep beep.
pants.
Now you're about to. That you did or about to.
Either. Let's be honest. If they're gonna detain you, the chances of them detaining you after you just your pants significantly lower. Ask Nick.
Yeah. Oh, and then there was a drill where I had to lay in the back of the car, and when they walked up, I shot at them.
And I was so I was supposed to cover for him, and like try and distract the police
By
officers.
just
in back.
talking to him nonstop.
Oh, okay.
And so they're
Yeah.
like, we heard your domestic dispute at the gas station. I was like, yeah. And they're like, is your wife with you? No, I left her there. I got some pizza and some beer and some cookies. And then I keep talking to him and I'm like, don't eat my pizza. Don't eat my cookies. And then I was standing in the back there. And I was like, well, I got Miller Lite, but are you a Miller or a Bud guy? Talking to the guy who's supposed to be providing cover him back. And he's like trying so hard to ignore me.
And now I'm waiting in the back with the gun, just sitting there pointed. As soon as the cops came, I shot. Yeah. I literally go, bang.
Yeah. Nick would have got him.
No, I really
Yeah,
would
yeah,
have.
yeah.
Because they were calling out, which is part of their training. They were calling out like, all right, front's clear. I'm going to check the back seat. And that's where I was.
Okay.
And I was just laying there with the gun.
I got
Yeah.
As soon as they got there, I was like, bang, bang.
Also, that was the other thing.
Did you say bang bang too?
I did.
I understand.
did.
There's
Double
yeah,
tap.
he did.
Double tap.
There's some logic to like working like because there were 3 people responding to the scene. There's some logic to having those 2 guys go together. There's also some logic in having them split up.
Yeah.
Because in a scenario, if you don't know if other people are in the car or whatever else, like
Yeah.
having them on either side of the car, because like right there they were shoulder to shoulder.
So was Ben at this training?
Yeah.
How'd Ben do?
I thought Ben did pretty well. Oh,
He was quite aggressive,
yeah. Yeah, he threw me down at one point when he sat me down. I was like, God damn.
and then like everyone else was like, "Please exit the vehicle," and Nick's like, "Get out of the car!"
Yeah.
Like immediately, I was like, "Jesus!"
Yeah.
Sorry,
like,
Ben.
So like they like actually like they didn't put the handcuffs on us. They were supposed to, but they didn't want to like hurt our hands.
Oh, okay.
And then like because they arrested us so many times, but like
Yeah.
they would hold your hands back and then they would sit you down on the ground behind the cop car.
Yeah.
So like we were sitting there and like it wasn't easy for us to like get sat on the ground
Yeah.
from that position. So it was kind of
It wasn't easy for you. I'm
Yeah.
4 feet higher in the air than you are. I had a
Yeah.
hard time getting down there.
So I kept getting like pushed down every time, and Ben accidentally did it so fast one time he like sent me to the ground. I was like, God dang, Ben! He started laughing.
I also kicked 2 police officers that day because they told the first police officer because he was standing too close
Oh, yeah.
to where I was behind the car.
Oh.
Whenever I was already detained, and he's like, "You need to scoot back because you're getting close. You're like he could kick you and take your leg out from underneath you." And then he like, okay. And then took 2 steps back, and then like started yelling at Nick, and then like took 2 steps
So you
forward.
did it?
And so I kicked the side of his leg, and then I did it to the next cop too.
Also, when I
And
had
was the trainer like okay with it?
Oh yeah. I wasn't like
Yeah.
like kick. It was just like tap.
Yes.
Yeah.
and it was also funny because like at one point when I had the gun, they didn't catch it on me. I just looked at Griff and I was like,
Yeah. I was like, he had the gun.
I was like, oh my
and he
God.
looks at Nick, and Nick looks at me, and he's like, and I was like,
I was like, I got a gun.
God, guys, they didn't catch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get like the brass knuckles in the sock. Once our hands were behind our back, what we can do with the brass knuckles?
If you were
is
looking
so-
at my feet though, those things were bulging out.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
it was a big deal.
Big deal.
But yeah, that was fun. Griff got to take a picture. We got to take a picture of each other in the cop car with me in the
Yep.
back. And him
No,
in the
it was.
front.
All, it looked like a blast.
I wish they would have let us like booked us. We could have like a booking photo.
I didn't want them to have my fingerprints.
Well, I
I-
didn't actually want to get booked. I just wanted the picture, Nick. Jesus. It's
I
like,
would've.
I didn't want to spend the night in jail.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is getting my hopes up that they do again this summer because Ben said that they need to do training again, and all 3 of us can make it.
Oh,
That
I'm
is the
100%
perk.
in.
That is the perk of being my friend. I told Griff, I was like, "That's
It
the perk."
sounds like we could bypass him and become friends with Ben.
Oh yeah, I already
And
got
then-
Ben. I already got Ben. I was already
Okay. all
Ben
right.
wasn't the one that asked me.
which is funny. I thought it was Ben that asked you.
Yeah.
No, it was the sergeant who was running the training. So
Yeah. Tell him we're in anytime.
Yep. Absolutely.
I told him it was a blast. I was like, dude, we'll do more.
If he gives us a heads
sure
up,
that we
I will-
schedule, make sure he schedules it on a day that Shay can't be there. I
I
want this to
thought-
be a not Shay thing.
I thought I was gonna have to get
What the
attacked by
heck?
the dog again. So I was like, when he asked me, because
You're gonna get attacked by the dog.
I've had to do that before. So when he
where
asked for
you
training, I
wear
was-
the suit.
yeah, wear the suit and I run, the dog attacks me, and that sucks. And I was like, so when he asked
can
me
imagine.
that, when he asked me that, I was like, what is it? Because if it's a dog, I'm not in.
At one point, somebody was either crinkling a bag of chips or running a taser, and I can't tell which of those two it was. But we were in the car, and they're like, "All right," and then he's like, "You have violent criminals in the car," and then I hear crackle. This noise in the back, and I'm like, that sounded like a taser." I did not sign up to get tased.
No, that would not have been fun.
Yeah, it was fun. So
Anything
good.
else you want to add?
No,
I would
that's
love to do
good.
it. Well, as you people have probably noticed by this point, we actually have redone our setup, our desks. I put together our desk for us, and soon enough, Nick and Griff will also have signs in front of theirs. So
And this is stage one
this is stage one. Yes,
of rebuild out here.
yes.
So
We're instead of just waiting for it all, I figured we can slowly break it in. But eventually, we'll get the wall up. But yeah, much better. So you can actually see Griff and Nick now, and not just their side profiles. Which, like we said, we may lose.
may
People we-
hurt some of you, but
I don't
Yeah.
have a good side.
I don't have a good front.
Sounds personal.
Yep.
Sorry, Bree.
Anyway, so we'll get
For the
into our office hours segment. Like I told you, I wanted you guys to send us in any work-related issues, or if you have any questions for us. And again, please send us any questions, Bahar. But we have a work-related issue. See how you guys would handle it. So it says, my coworker uses a speakerphone for every call.
Like in the office?
Yes.
Oh, that's annoying.
So in any situation, they have a speakerphone. What are you going to do, Griff?
Hit them when they don't see it coming.
That's a Nick answer, that's for sure.
I just
Like-
want to talk really, really loud.
I'm gonna be one of those movies. I've always seen. You always remember seeing like the '90s movies whenever they hit somebody with like the old-fashioned phones.
We can go with the
Like
office
they
approach.
take you'll have like the actual handset phone for the ringer thing, and they hit them with it and break it. I'm gonna go find one of those at a Salvation Army and hit them in the back of the head with it.
No, you can do the gym approach with Dwight. Dwight, what are you doing? Why are you taking your shirt off?
That'd be funny.
No, you see, my mom is the worst person for speakerphones.
Oh, is she?
She will literally like we'll be sitting at lunch and she will get a call and put it on speakerphone and talk to the person.
Oh,
I
she's one of
cannot
those.
stand it. Cannot stand it.
See, I'll put it on speaker. I talk on speakerphone a lot of times, but no one's home.
yeah, it's you're
And
by
then-
yourself. It's fine.
Yeah.
Nick.
Or I'll go when Bree is home and I do that. I'll go like outside,
Yes.
like in the
That's
back.
fine,
Well,
buddy.
she will not leave the room. She will sit at the table while everyone else just sits there in awkward silence and listens to someone else talk.
I
Them
don't
and
do
the
that.
And
worst.
she never tells them they're on speaker.
Oh, that's even worse.
But they're all old people, so it's not like
Old people
but-
are the worst.
well, the worst.
that's an HR violation right there.
And there it is, a HR violation of the week. The worst is when you're in public and eating restaurant, or when somebody does that. Oh my gosh! Or
Oh,
in the Walmart when they're going down. I'm like, what are you doing?
People
Oh, I kind
on
of
the
like it because then I
Amtrak.
want to hear it.
Amtrak?
Amtrak is horrible for it. I spent a 3-hour long train ride to Chicago with a person behind me, no headphones, talking on speakerphone to somebody.
Now, I'll do it if I'm driving. And
First
like,
of all, who talks to someone for 3 hours?
yeah, I know. Trust me, that stuff's for the birds.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't even like talking to myself for that long.
You don't have a choice.
You're by yourself.
I know it sucks. I talk to Emma.
I can see that happening. So we don't have any good answers for you other than,
Don't do it.
well, I honestly would do.
No. I think the best answer is plant things at their desk that will get them fired.
Amen. Let's do that.
So-
go with that.
Or hit
And-
him with your car.
Or him with your car. And
Don't
that,
hit them with your car.
Hit 'em with your car.
They might die.
Hit 'em
with your car.
Don't, no.
and that is
That's
our
attempted manslaughter.
first advice on office hours.
No,
So if you
that's-
need good, hard advice, we've got you.
Hard with your car.
I disagree. Get an
The
electric
hard.
vehicle so they don't hear you coming.
So you're
just joining
welcome
the
for
trade
that
now.
advice. And if anybody else needs great advice, here we are.
Yep.
Send us in your questions, or if you have questions about the podcast, anything you'd like,
You're gonna
any
want
help
to.
with.
You're gonna want to hide the body though. So get like some duct tape and like a bag or something.
Jesus Christ.
And moving
won't help
on,
Anyways, we haven't
So-
had one of those in a while. Anyways,
I've found a thing that I'm on my phone way too much.
Okay.
And I found a hack of a way to limit your screen time as much. And the screen use and stuff like that where you can only have for a certain
Yeah, I
time.
honestly hate that.
I
I
hate
have
it.
it and I hate it.
I don't do it. It doesn't work. I just press ignore. It doesn't matter. So what you can do is set your phone to grayscale. And so your phone is just black and white.
Wait, do you have an iPhone or
Yeah.
Android?
iPhone. So you can set it to grayscale so it's not
How
like
do you do this?
bright colors. So you have to go to settings.
Okay.
Where's that at?
I don't know where your settings
Okay, I
is. So it's settings.
I'm the tech guy.
Where's that at?
Where's your settings at? I believe I don't have it on mine right now, but I'll figure it out for you guys here in a second. But then it puts it in grayscale. But the idea is it's not bright like colors, and so it's not appealing to look at. And I used it for a whole week and compared. Obviously, you get the weekly usage,
Yeah.
but I went down a whole hour of usage per day.
How much? I'm curious. How much time do you guys have on your phone?
That's a great question.
Thank you. I asked it.
How much do you average per day? Oh no,
Mine's horrific right now because I'm coming out of being in the fields.
yeah,
So whenever I'm in the fields, I'm watching a lot because I'm in a tractor for 15 hours a day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, me too.
my average for the week I was in the tractor was 4 hours and 30 minutes.
Are we talking about like private browser or just phone in general?
when
I'd
you
like to
get
know both,
on
please.
Sunday, when you get what is the average weekly usage? What are you getting?
I think I get like 10 hours.
10
What?
hours on your phone a day?
No, are you serious?
Show us.
Yes.
Hang on, I'm
Just
trying to
You
pull
figure
have
up.
it out.
to-
Just pull up screen time.
Yep.
Edit nothing and show us.
Yep.
Shay, help me.
For screen time, give it here.
10
my-
hours?
No, I think it's at 10 minutes.
It is not 10 minutes.
What?
Between 10
That's
hours.
what I'm saying.
Between 10 hours and 10 minutes, I'm going to say 10 hours.
It says total screen time an hour and 15.
That's just in the
Daily
last hour and
average
20
10
minutes.
10 minutes. Did you just delete it?
No, I really did not. I don't
Let
know.
me see.
Yeah,
Let me
give it
see.
to him.
I'm the tech guy now.
Yeah.
Don't go through my browser history.
Look at me. I'm
I'm
the tech guy now.
3.5 hours. Is where I'm usually.
It
at.
is saying he's been on his phone for 52 minutes today. That
I
is
know.
I
no
haven't
way.
been on a lot today
Well,
because we've
no.
been
Today he's
driving-
been at
yeah.
training and he's been
Today's been the
truck
least
shopping.
day. But like, check a work day.
Yeah.
Don't check Friday because that's when we got arrested, right? Or was that Thursday? Don't check Thursday because we got arrested.
Hold on. It said on Tuesday you were on the phone for 673. Oh, you got 673 notifications on Tuesday.
Jeez Louise.
I get a lot of texts.
Pickups. Show today. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can let us know how much your screen
Yes,
time
let
is
us
average.
know.
So
It says daily average 10 minutes.
It
Something's
does
not
no.
right.
Yeah, that's
No,
not right because
there's no way.
Dude, I'm on that thing way more than 10
We
minutes.
text you more than 10 minutes.
he ignores us a lot of times.
There is
but
no way. If you watch 10% of the things that we send to you is more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, 10 minutes cannot be right.
See, I think he was just a good enough of a tech guy that he deleted it before he brought it here.
I think so too.
Darn.
Yeah,
That's
I'm at
smart.
about three and a half.
3.5. Okay.
Yeah, I'm about 3.5.
And is that up or down 40% from last week?
That's my 3.5 is normal.
Oh, here, hey.
So when I
New weekly report, screen average, 6 hours and 53 minutes of screen time per day on this device.
there you go.
6 hours and 53 minutes.
Okay.
I averaged 433 and I spent 15 hours sitting in the same seat.
I work from home. And
That I
don't
work
care.
from home too.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of YouTube.
You have a computer in front of you.
Yeah. Why
well,
don't you just watch
You
on your
have
computer?
a TV. You have another TV with a PlayStation. So how
Yeah.
much actual screen time are
No.
you getting in a day if that's
A
just
lot.
your phone?
I play YouTube on my computer. I will play stuff on my phone, and I'll play PlayStation all
Nick,
at the
have
same
you
time.
ever wondered why you cannot fall asleep, buddy?
No kidding.
It might be because you're slightly overstimulated.
Everyone keeps saying that.
If you have to have 3 things on to feel normal, that's not normal.
People at home help me.
Can we go back to having the fixed Nick fixed Nick category?
No.
He didn't like that.
Yeah, it was offensive. It was targeted to one person.
We had a lot of content.
Nope. All right.
Anyway,
You watched. My God.
so here we go. Our next segment is mandatory viewing, and that is where we made suggestions for everybody to watch, but me and Griff already shared ours because we watched them, but Nick wasn't able to because Griff never gave him what episodes to actually watch. So welcome to mandatory viewing, the part of the show where one of us assigns a movie.
Another one of us significantly regrets participating in this.
And none of us get that time back.
So grab your popcorn and your passive aggressive. It's time for mandatory viewing. And Nick, you were assigned to watch.
Yes, I don't remember what it was called.
The giant beast that is the global economy.
Yeah. I didn't know it was the guy that had the that was
was
in
Kumar and
White
Harold and
Castle.
Kumar.
Yeah. But it was actually interesting. I will say I felt like each episode because I watched I actually think I only watched 3. I didn't watch 4. I watched
You're only supposed to watch 3.
Okay, good. I thought you gave me an extra one. I watched the money laundering one. Money is BS, and then what was the other one?
Are rich people dicks?
Is that the one? No.
No, it has a cuss word in it in the title.
That was the BS
That was
one.
the money is BS one. Did I delete off my phone? I watched another one. I can't think of what it is now.
Keep
But
talking.
Obviously, he's really paid attention
Very
to
engaged.
yes,
it. He had 2 other things going on at the same time, so he could pay attention.
No joke.
playing my PlayStation working. No. The money is laundering one. That one was interesting because I didn't know it was like. So it basically it's this guy and he's like, I'm gonna go to the place where money laundering happens a lot. And he's like, I'm going to Washington D.C.
Did you watch Counterfeiting or did you watch
Counterfeiting.
Corruption?
Counterfeiting. Yeah. Which also, bringing that up, I didn't realize how many famous people like also starred in these or like participated.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like there were so many famous people, and I was just
So-
like, oh, you're this person. You're this
So
person.
that is the Adam McKay. So Adam McKay he is the director and producer for a lot of the Will Ferrell stuff. He worked in a production company thing with Will Ferrell for 15 years, ending like 2 years ago. And Adam McKay he did The Big Short and he did Vice, both in this same thing where he tells a story, but then like interludes people like that, like celebrity cameos essentially, to tell, to break down complex theories, I guess would be the right term, right? Mm-hmm. So whenever they're coming in, they're explaining, like in The Big Short, they explain like what a double tranche is. Mm-hmm. They explain like what.
Oh, so they did that style
mortgages.
in this documentary? That's
So
cool.
that's what they did in this too.
That's cool.
Well, like they, the money laundering one. So he's like goes to Washington D.C. and he's talking to like all these people, which was funny. And I get this now reference, and you guys are probably gonna laugh. But he goes to the bank with, how much money did he have? Like,
That's what made me think you too, because I rewatched it.
Did he have
So he went to the bank with $1 million.
yeah.
And he goes, I'd like to deposit this. And they're like, yeah, you're going to have to fill out this form and this form and this form. And I thought about Nick whenever he did that.
because
And
they're
walked
like,
in
you're
with
only
all
allowed
the
to
cash.
deposit $10,000, and then they're like, how did you get this money? And he's like,
It fell
it
from,
fell
the,
from
sky.
the sky, yeah, something like that.
Which it actually did.
Yeah.
Because they said, well, he's like, if I want to follow through and I want to see what money laundering, like how it works. So I asked Amazon for $1 million and they drop it off. They go up on like a tall ladder and drop the duffel bag on top.
But he's like, she's like, we still have to report this as a suspicious account, even if you don't have a story of how you got the money. And so he like takes the money and just like sneaks away. But I laughed because I was like, that was me
That was literally
when I
Nick.
deposited $35,000. But I had legit reason. But then they're like,
Yes, you were legitimately not bright in the ways of money.
yeah, mentally challenged.
No,
with
no.
Rich.
You did not know things, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You were not mentally challenged. You just didn't know something. It's just hilarious that you didn't know it. Is that fair?
That's very fair.
I learned the hard way. So
Slight
then,
IRS audit, and you learned the hard way.
but then like they're talking about like money to like ways to do money laundering and stuff like that, and they were talking about like a taxi driver is a big one because like they make, which I don't feel like their numbers are right because they were saying you can go deposit like $6,000 a day or something like that. Then one day if you deposit $9,000 or $12,000, no one's gonna notice. And like they're talking about like that's how you do like money laundering and stuff like that.
Money laundering a lot in service-based industries as well.
Yeah. Like they had this one place that like you could like own their or like rent their office or something like that, and like that was in the counterfeiting one. But
So that one's actually interesting because actually if you look out in, I believe it's Montana does the same thing essentially with agencies because they don't require out there your LLC to have they can't find out what name is behind an LLC. So Montana has an entire industry of people being quote unquote agents for LLCs so that no one ever knows who actually owns it. It just operates under that corporate entity name and they can sue it and they can take the assets and that's it.
we should open up a LCC.
Good try, bud.
Thank you.
Good effort.
But
Define we.
Reese's.
Reese's.
But yeah, so I thought they were interesting. Like I said, the first they were each like 50, 47 minutes, something like that. Like they weren't long, but I felt like they got kind of redundant after the first like 20 minutes. It was
Especially
like they got
towards
the point.
the end.
Yeah.
They tried to hammer home a specific point rather than expanding on it. It's
Yeah.
kind of what I felt. Like I thought they started out really good, and if you ever get a chance to watch all the way through, the first like 2 or 3 episodes are very good, and then
the
they just kind of
one was
the counterfeiting one started out very good.
Yeah.
it was very interesting, and then
Yep.
it just got weird, and they did one on like rubber plants, but it seems like they spent too much time trying to hammer home a specific point rather than really taking the opportunity to explore what is a pretty broad issue.
Like I said, I feel like the first 15, 20 minutes were good, and then it, like you said, it kind of got,
You could have just gotten it from there.
yeah.
Like, you didn't need the other 20, 25 minutes.
Yep. But not bad. I was proud that I watched him.
I am too. I was actually proud of him to
Good
do that.
job, buddy.
Yep.
Did my homework.
And that'll take us to our ads of our today's sponsor of today's episode of It's a Work Thing is brought to you by Yankee John's Golf Club, where professional meets peace and the greens are always true.
Whether you're closing deals or just avoiding emails, there's no better place to unwind, have a drink, than on the course.
Tea times available daily, business casual, strongly encouraged.
And yes, the HR complaints can be buried in the sand trap.
Not the only thing he's burying there.
Fair.
Thanks for the sponsorship, Yankee John.
Yes, thank you, John.
And that brings us to our HR violation of the week. It's time, and that part of the show where it probably needs a formal write-up or at least a strongly worded email. And
I feel like these are all about me.
this HR violation is brought to you by Nicholas.
Our text string is wild sometimes, too. I'll just say that. Like, if someone was to get our phone and just read through our text string, they'd be like, what the heck is going on?
On this HR violation of Nick, we were talking about what was it? Nick was having some issue, like some issues, and I say I pray for Nick daily, and Nick replies back in parentheses, or not, sorry, in quotations. It says, "Bless you for blessing me," in quotation, Jesus Christ, Nick Emery, because Nick said he is Jesus Christ.
Like the Wayne Gretzky, Michael
Yeah.
Scott.
That's what I got that from. Thank you, by the way, for blessing me, though. And then Shay goes, I didn't even bless you.
I didn't. I did not.
Should.
Just said he's praying for you.
Sadly, that was not the one I thought he was going to pick.
What did you
What
think
did
he
you
was
think
gonna
I was
pick?
going to pick?
The one where I was talking about the lamb, the rib.
Oh,
That was a rabbit hole.
Yeah, the whole conversation was a rabbit hole. Anyways, like I said, our text strings are wild. If we start an OnlyFans, we'll start putting those out there.
Nick doesn't want to do that because he doesn't want to put his W.
He does. Yeah, he doesn't want to. Well, he doesn't want to. He does. You know, he only has so much time for OnlyFans. He doesn't want to really bank off
Yeah, it
of
was
naughty
when it was
firefighter.
when they wanted my social security number. I was like, I don't trust this.
Well, Nick, that's because they don't want you to create. That's because they don't want you to commit tax evasion. That's why they needed
It's
to
not
identify
evasion if
to
you
an
don't know what
account.
you're doing. It's ignorance. You can't get in trouble for ignorance.
It's not true.
All right, that's going to take us to our last segment of
Not true.
that's the last segment of our episode. I have a small little game for you guys. It's called LinkedIn Post or Cult Manifesto. Somewhere between motivational and manipulation, we read the words. You decide the source. It's time for LinkedIn Post or Cult Manifesto.
What's a cult manifesto?
It's something you've joined at some point in your life. Let's not kid ourselves here.
Just for the audience, of course. Not me.
Just for
I'm
clarification.
waiting for the text message one day where Nick's like, guys, this guy, he's awesome. He's the best. He wants me to move into his house.
He's giving me $20 to kill this guy.
He told me I could play PlayStation anytime I want.
He says though Bree is his wife now, and I'm not with her, but whatever.
Hey, if she's happy, I'm happy.
Happy wife, happy life,
Yeah. John
I'm sure
knows
he's
that.
not part of it already. A cult manifesto is where the guy who is in charge has a rule set. or
Wait,
whatever.
no. Let him.
Oh,
Let
like-
him. Go ahead.
I got it.
Like-
the
Say it.
3 letters.
Like God?
No,
I thought he was saying God. Okay.
like the KKK.
No,
That was
not
a
okay.
cult?
Hold on. We need to clarify this so that you understand the concept. The KKK would not technically be described as a cult as much as a racist organization.
Oh,
Be- Shit's like I'm too tired for this.
he's like, I'm not putting my kids to
A
sleep.
cult would be like it's based around one figure. So that's why whenever I thought you were saying 3 letters, I thought you were saying God, because some people consider religion to be a cult because it's based around a
lot of
belief of a singular person.
A lot of
probably
cults. A lot of cults have been based around religion.
Yes.
Oh.
And
Like-
and some type of religion where that person
Where was that in Texas?
Essentially,
that burned up.
like
I
Buddha.
watched a documentary about it.
it wasn't Waco, was it?
It was Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
Yes, Waco.
Jonestown was another one. This guy convinced everybody that he was the savior. A bunch of people came to live with him, and then the government was coming to break down their
You ever
compound.
heard of Helter Skelter?
No,
So Helter Skelter was who was that cult leader that wanted
Wasn't
to
that
start
Manson?
that? That was Manson. That had the girls kill the ladies, and he had the ladies kill those people to start Helter Skelter, which was to try to set the government down. But yeah.
Well, and that's what Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was like a reimagining of
Never
that
saw that.
scenario. Oh, really?
No.
You should watch that. That's good. But there was Jonestown they had where they literally went through and the guy created this cult around himself, and then the government was coming to shut him down. So he poisoned the Kool-Aid, and that's where they have the thing drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He poisoned and killed women, children, everybody in this cult, 200 something people.
yeah,
All right,
not good. Anyway, so
LinkedIn.
you are picking whether it is a LinkedIn post or it's from the cult. Okay, so here's your quote: "What you need to believe in is what you can see. If you can see me as your friend, I'll be your friend. If you see me as your God, I'll be your God."
That's a cult.
That's a cult.
That is from Jim Jones. It is
Jonestown.
People's Temple as a cult.
Jonestown.
Hey, we're doing good.
Drink
One
the
for one.
Kool-Aid.
All right, here we go. Delighted to announce that I'm entering into a long-term contractual agreement poised for future growth.
That sounds like a LinkedIn post.
I thought that's not where I thought Nick was going with that one. Whenever it said
That
long-term
sounds
growth,
like a Lincoln log.
LinkedIn.
It was LinkedIn. Good job. You're 2 for 2. Is James Watt on his engagement?
I'm on LinkedIn a lot.
Who?
I don't know, some random dude.
Oh, okay.
Here you go. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive.
Ooh, this one's tough.
I'm gonna say that's a cult.
I'm gonna say that's LinkedIn.
It is Howard Thurman. It's a cult.
Never go wrong with the cult.
Nick can identify them because he's been trying to be lured in
He
by
goes,
about
"That
8
sounds
of them."
familiar.
Yeah, but that's what they tell me.
That guy was giving me $20 in a Reese's.
Every time I got rejected, I thanked the universe. I was being redirected.
LinkedIn.
I'm gonna go LinkedIn.
It was LinkedIn.
I'm 4 for 4. I just want to put that out there. Also,
And
what is
You might
going
be
on
in a
out there?
Cult. I don't know.
The last one. Democracy is government of the people, for the people, by the people, but the people are mentally retarded.
This is who Nick follows.
That is, I would say, a cult.
Nick is the people. I'm gonna say LinkedIn.
It's called.
Oh, I was really hoping that was LinkedIn. I was really hoping that was LinkedIn. I was like, I'm gonna follow this guy. Who is that?
A guy named Osho.
Osho. This guy's got Nick's number. I'm shocked
Who is
that
it?
Nick.
Who is she? Oprah?
Where's this one at? Hold on.
It just says Osho.
Osho. I am just gonna say, Nick If I pull up a picture of Osho and they look familiar to you, I'm not going to be shocked.
I don't know who Oprah is.
You don't know. I didn't say Oprah. Gosh.
Osho. Okay.
Airdrop it.
Nick, does that man look familiar?
No. Looks like the guy who drives the Prairie Farms trucks.
That looks like the guy who ran the BP on the end of town.
Before we end our episode, I do want to go back through the grayscale so you guys can. I figured it out how it gets to it because it's actually a little bit of a long way.
Okay.
So you're going to go your settings.
Where's that at?
Okay.
I'm going to get
Shut up, Nick.
settings.
It's top right, Nick.
Okay.
Accessibility.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Settings,
What now? What now?
Accessibility.
Are you on the accessibility?
Yes.
Settings. I'm in settings. Where's accessibility?
Go settings.
Oh my God.
Accessibility is like up at top.
But it's not.
Give me your phone.
Hold on. No. I can do this. I got it.
You got it?
I got it.
Okay. Then you go to display and text size.
Okay, then where?
Display and text size.
And then you scroll down to color filters.
Okay.
Color filters.
Okay.
And then you
God,
turn on your color filters and you can select grayscale.
Oh, that's ugly.
Yes, that's the point.
Okay.
Oh, color tint's even worse.
And so when you put it in grayscale, the idea is you're not addicted to your phone. And so like videos, no matter what videos they are, you won't be as enticed to stay on
So anything I pull up is going to be
Challenge
black and
accepted.
white.
everything.
Tonight, challenge accepted.
It really,
So do you leave your phone
I left it on grayscale for a whole week.
like not? You didn't go back at any point.
I left it on grayscale just for a week.
Oh,
just
see,
to
there's
see.
like certain times like I'm watching, like I want to be watching videos like
I know. I understand.
no, but not like in a distracted way. Like I'm on an elliptical and I don't want to be doing anything else. So I would turn it off for that. But otherwise,
You could. I mean, it's easy enough to turn off once you figured it out.
goodness, I'm going through the NFL draft results now. There are a lot of, let's say we didn't need grayscale.
Farmersville just got a structure fire an hour ago because someone left their clothes on the stove.
Oh my gosh.
We've all been there.
All right.
Okay. Don't judge them, Nick.
And I gotta remember how to get this off.
All right. I'm not going to tell him.
I got it.
Nick's going to come back in a week and he's like, I can't.
Please get this off.
Whenever he
can't watch
spends
anything.
10 hours a day on his phone, he's going to think the entire world is in gray and black. He's like, the world is in grayscale. He's going to look up from it and be like, I can.
No, I'm gonna do this to Brie when she's sleeping. I'm gonna grab her phone.
All right.
It's going to be like whenever
It's
they.
hard to find. It really is.
It was hard to find.
It's going to be like whenever they put the colorblind glasses on somebody.
That's true.
That's what it's going to be like when Nick looks up from his phone finally.
All right. That's another shift clocked in on That's at Work thing. If anyone asks what you're listening to, just shoot them a look and say,
It's a
a work
thing.
Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or wherever you waste company time at its_a_work_thing_podcast.
Got a workplace horror story, petty coworker beef, or mysterious
story.
horror story. Mysterious
story.
break room crime. Send it in. We'll read it and we'll judge it.
That's an HR violation. New episodes drop every Thursday. Perfect for your fake working with headphones on vibe.
Or on your weekly walk around the office to refill your water bottle.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week.
Pretending.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.